given by Celtech for 3 months, which we can use. And after that, any extended support needed, we can discuss with the Celtech admin people for that. So this is how it will be. And as Narayanan said, it's going to be interactive sessions, not just dumping the theory, but we'll be kind of learning more practically. And since you guys have very good experience already in the functional area, we can more practically learn about how we can implement, or how SAP can be implemented in these kind of scenarios. Awesome. The solutioning part as well.
And also in the process, it will be also interesting to know new kind of requirement from your business, so that it will be interesting for us as well. So it will be more interactive.
Absolutely. I'm currently implementing a project for John Wiley, actually. Okay. So we are customizing heavily on the SAP side to integrate with the payment gateway, electronic payment. It's an awesome project.
Okay.
So we are heavily modifying the SAP side. Yeah, I'll ask some questions relevant to my project as well, so that to understand everything. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're most welcome. More interesting, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to the next slide. So about the course duration, we will be covering 35 hours of SAP SD module. Okay. So the 35 hours covers both the theory sessions and the demos for that. Okay. After that, we'll also cover something called S4HANA simplification. So what we will talk here is about the new thing, or the delta what SAP has come up based on ECC. Okay. So what additional stuff or what changes SAP is bringing in S4HANA. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about S4HANA implementation concept. So how SAP is strategizing companies to go for S4HANA migration. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit. So in total, about 40 hours we'll be spending in this course.
Okay. And I have a question, actually, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The question is, so when we start the class, will you give an overview of the SAP environment? For example, people say this is development and ED2 and so on, the enterprise core component, high-level overview of the SAP architecture.
Correct.
Yeah, the landscape, you mean.
SAP architecture, the landscape, usually implemented in the companies. We can also share some of our experiences in various projects, what we have worked.
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. All those overviews will be there.
Okay.
For sure, including where SAP has started, what versions were there, and then how the technology changed. Okay, and how SAP started transforming into the newer technology. So we'll talk all about that.
Excellent. Okay.
And where SAP is headed towards, about the future strategy as well.
Okay.
Perfect. So moving on to next slide. So this talks about, in brief, what we'll be covering as part of HD course content. So we the ASAP methodology, which is the the conventional methodology of SAP for implementing the projects. And then we'll talk about the enterprise structure, the pricing functions, the entire order to cash transaction process, and what are all the master data that is required to do those transactions. And then we'll talk about the warehouse concepts and the transportation part. So especially people in the logistics background, that will be very much helpful to understand how SAP solutions support these logistics requirements. So we'll talk about that as part of HT module, and also we'll talk about, or we'll practically see how HT module is integrated to other modules in SAP, because as we all know, SAP is an ERP product, and any module cannot function on its own. It is dependent. So especially for HT module, how it is dependent on other modules, what are all the integration points, at which point what data gets flown between modules. So we'll talk about all those stuff. And finally, we'll cover all the standard SAP reporting and what are all the delta reports that can be created or can be customized. We'll talk about that as well, and we'll also try to share some of the interesting reports what we have done in our projects, which SAP standard did not have. What we have created. So that will also give you a good idea about in what all ways you can customize the report and stuff like that.
Excellent. Terrific.
Those are Z reports called customized.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Narayan, you want to talk about this?
Yeah. So basically, SAP is a German multinational software, and it is headquartered in Waldorf, Germany. And basically, it was started by this is SAP stands for Systems, Application, and Products. And it was started by three people basically. One from system, one from application, and one from products. They were all working for IBM initially in the 60s, and they started and then named it as SAP. And now today it is the fourth largest software company in the world, I think, behind Oracle and Microsoft. It stands fourth. And the best part of SAP is that the kind of in ERP the market share of SAP is almost close to 70%. Because of this integrity with within the other business or other modules like finance, accounting, and analytics, it is called as BIW, or logistics and manufacturing. So the integrity, it has a strong integrity within the other modules. And the benefits of implementing this SAP is integration between the business processes. As I said, within the other businesses, within the other division of the businesses, and it caters to the all type of business. Like SAP also, in fact, came out with a different product catering to different kind of industries. Like they have IS oil for oil and gas. IS stands for industry specific, and also they have like oil and gas like Chevron or ExxonMobil and Aramco, and wherever these industries, these companies have SAP application. And also the retail, IS retail, industry specific retail like Walmart, other retail or Target, those kind of businesses. And also they have healthcare, HLS healthcare and life sciences. Like higher pharmaceuticals or the premium healthcare companies like Johnson and Johnson, Cardinal. Yeah. So all this. So they. What I want to say is that the SAP, they have the different products catering to the different industries, and also it is more customizable. Wherever is there any gap, it is very easy to customize with the technical developers, and it is very user friendly, and it is available in many languages like Germany, English, or Chinese and Arabic. They have in many languages, and with they can connect with every other business. Like that is what they have. One of the major implementation of SAP is business to business. Like whenever any business they want to connect with their trading partners, it is when a company has SAP, it is very easy to, be it a vendor or be the sales partner, it is very, when they have SAP, it would be very easy to connect with the trading partners with the third-party tools. It is more user-friendly and more customizable. Yeah, Shankar.
Narayan, actually, I have to go, but I will touch base with Sudha, because she was the person who contacted me this morning, and I was looking on Suleka. Thank you for the introduction. It was good, actually. Looking forward to work with you. I will talk to Sudha tomorrow, and if I sign up, when do we start a class, actually?
Senthil.
Senthil or Sam?
Yeah, I'll take the question. Gauri, this is Senthil. We are planning to start a batch Friday, the February 10th.
Okay.
We're planning to start a batch, and if you have, that's the goal. So as soon as we have signups, and I think we're planning to start one on Friday.
Okay, already. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I have to leave right now. Thank you for the presentation. I really enjoyed it. Nice talking to you guys. Have a nice evening. I will, jump off the call right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Gauri. Yeah,
okay.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. You can move on to the next. Yeah.
Go ahead, Narayan.
Yeah. So what is sales and distribution? This slide talks about what is the sales and distribution part of SAP. It is also called as order to cash, and it talks about the business processes used in the sales, shipping, and billing. Like it's end to end, how an order is created, and based on the order, how a delivery is created, and then based on the delivery, an invoice is created. And post invoice, how it gets posted to how it gets integrated, and how an accounting document is getting generated to post the, revenue account. So, and it has master data, and we are going to talk about the master data in terms of customer master, material master, and also the sales transaction, like sales order, sales delivery, and then billing, and also the availability check. Availability check in the sense once the order is created, and how whether the material is available in stock, or how it gets connected to if it is the in-house production, how this gets connected to the production, or if it is a bought out item, how it gets integrated with the material management, and also the shipping. How the material gets shipped, shipping point, and also the credit management. Once the order is created, how the customer credit worthiness, how the credit setting can be done for the customer, or how the credit block can be done, and also the billing, the last document that gets created in the order to cash. So we are going to talk about. This covers the entire sales and distribution. And within this itself, we will talk about the integration of the production planning, materials management, and finance. Yeah. Move on to the next slide. Yeah. What is the role of an SD consultant in the consulting part of the SAP? It is more. It is not just stick to SAP. It is general, but here this is as far SAP is concerned, it is a little bit tweaked. So this is what is a major part. And requirement gathering. The first part is the requirement gathering from the business, or you can always otherwise term it as a business requirement document. The creation of the BRD. So you need to discuss with the business and understand the requirement, and then you need to document it. And also the second part is the documentation. Post discussion, you will come out with the as-is study of your understanding with the business. So you need to document. That is called as-is document. And also what the business needs in future. So this is what this is the current business, and they require to improve the business, and for which they require the process need to be improved and mapped in SAP. That's called to be process. And yeah, in this during this process, you will also come across the fit and gap analysis. So fitment, how far the to be can be fit into SAP, and what is the gap, and how you can handle the gap with the customization, and which means the standard SAP can fit most of the requirement, but there could be some gap that need to be a little bit work with the technical developers and customize it according to the business needs. And also post which you will come up with a design and then play it back to the business, and that is called business playback sessions. You need to conduct a business playback session of which you will have a sign off, which means whatever you understood, you have designed it, and with the overall design you're going to play it back, and the business has to agree, yes, this is what they need, and then both have to agree, and then they would sign it off. And post which the blueprinting starts. Blueprinting is a documentation that is which is going to tell how the entire project is going to be handled and how the configuration, everything. So you're going to document everything in the business blueprinting. And post the blueprinting, according to the blueprinting, you go to the next step. You need to configure the system, whatever the business required and whatever is there in the business blueprint. And next, test cycle. This also is one of the, having done all this, the system has to work. So definitely this cannot go live, unless robust test cycle. I mean, testing part need to be more robust. There are, it has its own project life cycle. In the test, within the testing, it has its own PLC, like unit testing. Unit testing for every development. A functional consultant, yourself, and the technical developer will do the testing, unit testing. And integration testing is the end-to-end. For example, you do some changes within the delivery, which means doing. I mean, at the delivery level, if you want to do that is with regarding to the unit testing. But when it comes to integration testing, you need to run the entire OTC cycle, order to cash. Create an order and create a delivery, and then create a billing document and post it to account. So that is called an integration testing, which is integrated with other modules. And finally, user acceptance testing. So that will be done by the business users, but wherein if there are any if they find across any issues, as a functional consultant, you need to fix it, and once again the business has to test and sign off. So this is the final, and this is the one which is very important before the go live. And also you need to train the business users and the customer support team on on all the processes and on the end-to-end. And finally, post live, and then that's called either post live support or an hypercare support, wherein you need to support the business as and when the issues arises. So there would be a ticketing system where in previous days they used to call, but now there are tools available where they log a ticket, and then it will be all the zero priority. In the initial days, or you need to clear it within 1 hour or something as per the SLAs. So that is called a post live and hypercare support. And then you will give it to the this is you need to hand it over to the business and the support team. This is the entire process. This is a role of an SAP SD functional consultant, and this is a key role where you will be working with the business very closely. Yes. Yeah. So this is the enterprise structure, for the entire SAP, what we have been talking about all along. And the one which is marked in square, the sales organization, distribution channel, and division. These are the three, which is with regards to the sales and distribution module. But it is, if you see in the box, it is integrated with the arrow goes to company code and also the plant, and whereas the other boxes, credit control area, chart of accounts, and will be done by the finance team, and the purchase organization and the purchasing group will be taken care by the team. And yeah, likewise, fiscal year variant and the controlling area will be taken by the CO team. So we as an SD consultant, will be more concentrated in the sales area, which is a combination of sales organization and distribution channel and division. And we will talk in detail during the course. So, but this is the this is a complete enterprise structure where a business, when the company decides to go for SAP, they need to map their business according to this SAP enterprise structure.
Yeah, just to add to Narayanan, so enterprise structure is nothing but it is like setting up the parameters, setting up the infrastructure, within which the company will operate and work in the system. Okay, so for each of the functional area, there are some key organization structure or the unit that would be responsible. So that is what you're saying in this part. So from sales point of view, sales organization is important. The total company point of view, company code is important, and company code is the level where all the the final accounts, the balance sheet, all the legal documentations will be generated for external authorities. Okay, so company code is key for any SAP implementation, deciding how many company codes, how the legal documentation has to be generated, what kind of final accounts has to be created, is decided based on company code. And all other organization units for each of the function modules gets linked to that. So that is what you are saying, this particular enterprise structure. So we'll be learning in detail about what this enterprise structure does, how it is connected, what key configurations are needed to set up this in our training. Moving on to the next one. So here we talk about what kind of data we will be learning in this course. So we'll be talking about the configuration data, which is nothing but behind the scene, what kind of system settings you have to make for a particular transaction to work. So for example, when you create a sales order, there are so many system settings done at the back end. So as a consultant, what settings you have to know so that the system will behave for each type of transaction what you're doing. For example, there are standard transactions, standard orders you can create. You can create cash related orders, cash sales. You can create, quick, immediate, overnight deliveries. So for each of these different types of transactions, what system settings you have to make. So that is what we'll be learning in the configuration data. And the master data is nothing but in order to do a transaction, what masters are needed. For example, when you create a sale order, you need to have a customer data. You need to have the material data. You need to have the pricing data. So these are all the master data which will be set up and kept it ready. So each and every time when you perform a transaction, system will refer to these masters and try to populate the data for doing a transaction automatically. So what all those data that has to be set up in order to do the transaction. That is what we'll learn under master data. And the transaction data is nothing but various types of data that is getting recorded as documents in the system. So for example, when you create a sales transaction, a sale order is created. That is the transaction data. When you create a delivery of the goods, there is a goods receipt document created. So that is the transaction data. When you create an invoice to the customer, right, for the sales what you have made, the invoice document is generated. So that is the transaction data. So likewise, what all transaction data will be generated and how to analyze those. So that is what we'll be learning in terms of the transaction data. So these are the key data, types of data, what we'll be learning in our course. Now, coming from SAP ECC, so SAP ECC is a standard ERP system what SAP has. Now, ECC works in a different platform and a structure. Now, given the scenario where the world is changing from traditional, transaction to all cloud-based computing, and all the transactions are done mostly in apps rather than doing the traditional, the transaction. So SAP has come up with a system called S4HANA. So it stands for simplification, meaning rather than having a heavy ERP system, in order to do the business in a simple way, the transactions in a simple way using mobile devices, SAP has come up with a new product called S4HANA. So as I told you, S stands for simplification. So it is SAP simplification for HANA. So HANA is a new database, new realm of database what SAP has created. We will talk about that in detail. What is HANA and how that is changing the database trend, what we have, and how it is revolutionizing the ERP world, and how it is catering to the new requirements of the industry. Okay, so all those stuff we'll be learning in detail in our session. So considering or having understood that the world is changing, the way things are getting done is changing, we are seeing here in this particular slide, the innovation path is nothing but where SAP evolved as a R2 system. From R2, SAP changed to R3. R3 is nothing but the 3-tier technology where you have database, you have the application server, and the front-end presentation server. So you have 3 architecture built in, and then from R3, SAP converted to ECC with web-based technologies. So that's where browser-based transactions came up rather than client-based transactions. And from ECC, now SAP is transforming into S4HANA, which is a very simplified version, and it works based on mobile devices. So when we talk about S4HANA, we'll be talking about what kind of simplification SAP has done in sales module when compared to your SD module, what we'll be learning.
So adding to what Shankar said, in 2004, it was from R3, SAP evolved into ECC. So that was, was very simple. But in now what SAP is trying to do from ECC to S4HANA, it's a major evolution. So it is where they have simplified most at the table level, where we can discuss in detail. But it is one of the major change which is coming up. Yeah, please proceed, Shankar.
Okay. Now, talking about benefits of SAP S4HANA, so it is first of all high-speed real-time analytics. So meaning, since the application is simple, the heaviness or the data footprint is minimized. So that and HANA is a database that is built into the memory of the system. The whole application server and the database resides in the memory of the system. Unlike the current architecture where you have a separate database, and the application server are different, both are connected. The architecture of HANA is totally different. Both application server and your database resides in the memory of the system. And the HANA database has both verticalization and horizontal columnar storage, which makes the data retrieval very, very simple. So that's why, it's high speed, with real-time analytics that is possible. You don't need to have separate reporting system needed. For example, today we have BW, which connects to ECC system for reporting purpose. And that the synchronization of the data between ECC and the BW is not real time. There is a lag between the data that gets transferred from ECC to BW in terms of reporting. So with HANA, you are actually replacing those with a real-time inbuilt memory, inbuilt analytics. So that is the advantage. The next advantage is that, it is a real-time harmonized logistic solution. So that means all these because it is very simple and, it resides in memory computing. So all the necessary sub-modules which is needed to perform a transaction, everything is built within one system. You don't have to, rely on multiple other systems to perform certain transactions. We will look into this in little bit detail when we learn in the class. But the idea here is all the necessary transactions are performed in the same place. You don't need to jump into multiple systems in order to do a transaction. And then the next advantage of HANA is, built-in ability to use prediction and simulation. Because the data and the analytics is real time, you can build a simulation, what if analysis and stuff like that. You can do predictive analytics. So these are all supported in S4HANA. Whereas in today's situation, because the reports are not that much realistic or real time, you cannot do these kind of predictive analytics. But with S4HANA, that is pretty much possible. And the other advantage of HANA is you can have both in-house system as well as cloud-based solutions. In fact, if you see, SAP is pushing for all cloud-based, solutions. So, and with a subscription model, so that gives, companies, more relaxation in terms of IT spend, what they do in IT infrastructure. So any, cloud-based application, the IT spend is simply reduced. So that is another advantage of going with, SAP S4HANA. The other advantage of HANA is all the transactions are app-based, which is more intuitive. So SAP has come up with a new user interface called Fiori, which is nothing but that it's all app-based, browser-based. So you can install a Fiori app in your mobile or in your tab, wherever, and you can start doing the transaction. You don't need to have the traditional SAP GUI, the graphical user interface to do the transaction. So that is another advantage of going with S4HANA. So you have many advantages with S4HANA, with being more simplified. The biggest advantage I would say is all the data, what is stored in the database is simplified. It's very much simplified. Traditionally, if you want to store a transaction data, SAP will store in 10 different tables. With S4HANA, SAP has simplified the data storage into just, one or two tables at the max. So by that way, the data footprint that is there in the system is reduced, and that is why, it is pretty much simplified. And we will be learning in detail about S4HANA, and the simplification what SAP has done in terms of logistics, especially for sales module.
Yeah.
And finally, we are gonna say about the S4HANA deployment option. So as I told you, you can go for on-premise. You can go for a hybrid model where you can have both on-premise and cloud, and only cloud-based. So way forward, you can go for new implementation, greenfield implementation, or companies already running in ECC will go for S4HANA logistics, S4HANA migration. So these are all the new project opportunities that will be coming up. So quick system demo. We'll just like to show you, how SAP system looks like, and then both in ECC as well as S4HANA. So Narayanan, you wanna show that?
If you have that connection, because mine is getting, I have some issues with my laptop, so that's why.
No problem.
Yeah.
So this is the SAP GUI, what you say in the screen. So you have the client. Client is nothing but an instance where you're going to log in. You need to enter your user ID and password. So this is a landing screen, which is SAP GUI based. It's a conventional user interface what SAP has, where you will have the prompt field for entering the transaction code, or you can have you will have all the menus at the left where you can browse through the menus per your module and try to do the transactions. So for example, let's say if I want to enter a sales order, I will scroll through this menu, go to sales and distribution, sales, okay, order, and then create. You can also directly enter the transaction directly here in the input command field, which is VA01. So all these transaction codes are created in standard SAP. We can also customize. So VA01 represents, create sales order, and then you enter the order type, which type of transaction you are basically doing, and then this is the simple interface what you have to create the sales order by entering the sold to party, which is nothing but the customer, the PO number, and then when you see, you can enter the material number and the quantity that you have to process. So we'll be learning in detail about what are the types of sales order, how to configure all these master data, and how system will pull the data.
Yeah.
in the transaction to do the transaction. And to a simple report, there is a standard report in SAP to display all the sales orders that is created. So you basically enter for what type of order and for which customer you want to analyze, enter those and execute. This is a simple report what standard SAP gives you in terms of for that particular customer what all sales order you have created in the system with the value. So this was a very simple demo regarding the system. When we actually start learning, we'll be learning a lot about this. So any questions?
Yeah, no questions at this point of time. Yeah, no questions. So yeah, it looks interesting because since I've done SAP certification, so yeah, I've gone through this as well, but it was a long time back, So yeah, absolutely.
You would have studied 4.6C, right?
Yes. It was a long time back.
But this is ECC6 is more or less. That's why when I said the evolution from 4.6 to ECC6, it's almost the same.
Same, yeah. It's
now
almost
only same. For HANA only there is a major change.
Yeah, there would be a major change. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
That would be interesting.
I'd like to quickly show how things looks like in HANA. So this is how it will be.
Oh wow. Okay.
In HANA, it is all app-based. And browser-based. The same screen you can also see in your mobile device or in your tab. Okay. So you see all these transactions are created as individual apps. So if you go there, I need to log in. It timed out. Sorry.
No worries.
So this is the interface. So you enter the user ID and password.
So how many companies have implemented S4HANA? Are they starting? Or it's not been implemented?
No.
Yeah, it is.
There are about almost in last year's statistics what SAP has released about 580 companies in last year. They have implemented. I'm talking about the new implementation.
Okay, the new implementation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly those are in APAC, right?
There are so many companies who started migrating
from
the existing ECC to HANA.
Okay.
And migration also you have various steps involved. Steps in the sense various sequences. Okay, so first companies go for a technical migration where you move your database from a regular, SQL based or Oracle based into HANA database, and then you go for S4HANA on top of it. So there are various ways how companies are migrating. For example, the company where I'm working, we are migrating from ECC
to okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
but how is the
whichever
go?
Yeah. Please go ahead, Yogendra.
Yeah. No, I just wanted. But so, how is the overall market for SAP SD in the sense? Because I've come across many people who are saying that now, since there are many competitors as well, like Salesforce or Workday, and all this,
No. Yeah, I'll take this question. See, Salesforce is nothing but the CRM application. I mean, it is something related to the CRM on cloud. I mean, for which SAP also has CRM, and also similar to Salesforce for the cloud application, SAP also has acquired the company called Hybris. So that is but when it comes to SAP, there are three. I mean, these sales and distribution, finance, and then materials management and production planning. These are all the core modules, back-end systems.
Oh, so
So though an organization, if they go for Hybris or Salesforce, they have to connect to the backend system. So the data flow, they need to speak to the backend system to get the data to perform the function on the cloud or for any customer relationship transactions. So Salesforce is not one-to-one. I mean, it is not a backend system at all. It is a kind of front-end system. And
in other words,
yeah.
To tell, you need to have a ERP system, connected to finance module, connected to HR module, connected to finance module, right? So SAP is a ERP system. Now all these SAP's hybrid, CRM system, all these other front-end tools, which is used for only specific function, But at the end, whatever function you do has to come and integrate to your core ERP system, right? So SAE is a core ERP, So
I got it.
Let's say you create a sales via CRM system, right? You create a opportunity and then you convert that to, right? Now that sales, what you convert has to come and sit in your ERP system, right? Process. So SAP is a transaction processing system for that core, functionality.
Okay.
So that's the key difference between Salesforce and so it is not a direct head-to-head competition. The total area where it
isn't. Yeah, it can the backend system either it can be SAP or Oracle, but in that market, SAP's as I told initially, SAP's market share is almost more than 70% in ERP.
Okay, yeah, I know, it is.
So yeah, and also as far as the core functionality is concerned, always the requirement is always there.
Always there, yeah, I know. These are the basic core modules, yeah.
Yeah, these are the basic, and that is a front basic system which interacts with the business and which maps the business requirement, which maps the business need.
Right. Got your point. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So as we see now, the SAP is going towards S4HANA and SAP as the front-end component. So what you see in my screen, this is how it will be going forward.
Wow.
Not in the
traditional way, yeah.
So you see, traditional SAP GUI looks like this.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Yeah.
Whereas with S4HANA and Fiori, this is how it will be.
Wow.
And it's more intuitive, and you will have the details on the screen like this.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, it's much more simplified. Yeah.
Absolutely. And see the same information if you see in the
traditional
core
one.
module.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say if you go to V05N and go to OR and run the report, For example, you select a order and you do the doc flow. So in the doc flow, it shows the same information. You see how the traditional module looks like. It's very difficult to infer, right?
I know.
The Fiori, you see very clearly it says what is the order number, what is the status of that, whether it is shipped, and whether the invoice has been paid.
Oh, wow.
Right. And if you hit on that, it's going to also tell what is the problem lying behind,
Oh, wow. That's great.
So it's very much intuitive as a user in terms of use. So, yeah. So that's what these things. So this is where SAP is heading towards.
Oh, wow. Oh, so yeah, I think so. Definitely from traditional way to this new system, a lot of companies will jump into it. It was more user friendly and all that. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so this is the right time to jump into this. Not
yes.
Consultants are there in terms of the newer module.
I know.
So as you have rightly decided, to come
Yes.
into SAP, and I think that's the right time. And for
Yeah.
SAP S4HANA, it will be kind of a paradigm shift, you know.
Absolutely. It will
So
be.
yeah,
It will.
And yeah, adding to that, we are also involved in the doing a POC for S4 HANA in logistics with
Okay.
for
Okay.
various clients.
Okay.
So, I mean, what I want to convey is, yes, the company started looking up. So now the big wave is going to come for S4 HANA wave. So
Yes. Yes.
already the
Absolutely.
companies in US are geared up for that. So you have a
I
lot of
know.
projects which is going to come.
I know. It is, indeed. Okay, and now, yeah, the demo was perfectly fine, and you guys, I really thank you guys for presenting a good demo. Now, I just want one final question I want to ask is, this training is it going? See, because I'm expecting like this training should be like once I'm out in the market, like I should be well trained, like 2 to 3 years experience guy kind of training. So will that be same kind of training it would be, or it just should be a brush up? Like a certification training and all.
No. So if you see one of my slide, I told very clearly, what is your role as a consultant, how you get the requirements and all. So that definitely that is not a brush up or just only touch points on the configuration part of it. How really, consulting, SAP consulting world, how it really
That's
works.
great.
How
Right.
you, I mean, how will you frame your functional specification to that level? It is
Oh,
not just
that's
a
great.
training; it is a real time working.
Oh, good. Because
and
yeah, that's the main
as we
point,
have been
because yeah.
as we have been insisting and as we have discussed earlier, we will be learning this practically. Okay,
Yes,
meaning,
absolutely.
let's say in your company, your company is a core logistics company, right? So the concept of SAP, you have to map it to your own company and see, okay, so if you are going to implement SAP for your company, having understanding practically the functionality of your company, how it can be implemented. If you learn like that, automatically your experience,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know. That is true. That is true.
your way of presentation, the way of understanding, and whenever you go for any interview, the way of presentation will get changed
I know.
because
Absolutely.
you're not a college professor, right?
I know.
And the concept, you are working practically in the company. All that you need to do is just relate or correlate how SAP solutions will replace, your current requirement. So if
I know.
you have to learn in that manner, that will give you a real confidence.
I know. That is true. That is, and
Plus,
plus,
we'll also share, then and there,
yes.
based on the occasions, we'll also share our own experiences,
Yeah,
what we
absolutely.
have done in our project. So that will give you a very good idea. Yeah.
Absolutely. No worries.
Already adding to that, already you are a functional expert. Only thing, you need to map as Shankar rightly pointed out, you need to map your daily day-to-day business activity into while learning in the class itself, you can map your own functional activity into SAP, and then you can practice that way. And it will be a good experience for us also, because you may come out with a new business requirement, which we can
I know.
jointly work and map it. And it is a
Right.
more interactive way of learning.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, why not? It would be. So yeah, it was good. So now, as Sam said, I don't know, I said Babu said, right? Babu Senthil said they're gonna start on Friday, right? The batch? Or it depends like how the sign-ups are.
Joginder, I think,
Yeah.
we definitely want to, start the batch on 8th, and I think we would most probably will start, and so we'll keep you in the loop. And
Yeah, please, if
who,
you can
who
keep
is
me in the
who
loop.
is who is talking to you? Is it Duma or Sudha? Who is actually
Duma actually passed on my reference to you, and I got a call from Sudha that there would be a demo session today. So I
okay?
don't know. Both of them have been communicating. Like both of them
Okay,
have
all right,
been
perfect.
communicating.
So, between myself, Sam, Duma, and Sudha, so one of us will constantly, feed you with updates, and we'll make sure that we'll try our best to start.
I know.
And I think
Yes.
most probably we will start on 8th. Looks like we will.
On it. Okay.
Um, So
Okay. And Sam, one more thing, like once this is done, like, but now how you guys proceed with, helping, like, CV preparation, or maybe helping in getting a job? No, I'm not saying 100%, like, but yeah, assistance,
no, we will
like
we will
help,
definitely extend our placement assistance, and of course, with Shankar and Narayanan, have a
contacts.
lot of industry experience, and they will be able.
Okay.
They probably would have seen a lot of hires and what they look for. So all that experience
Mm-hmm.
would come in handy for you. When the time comes for your resume preparation
Mm-hmm.
and handling interviews. So we will provide
I
all
know.
kinds of placement, assistance and
Assistance.
support
Yes, yes,
to get
absolutely.
you on board.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, I know.
Celtech, yeah, we can even see there are lots of projects that Celtech also signs up, and
Oh, wow.
that's,
Okay,
so
okay.
we will see if we
That's
can
great.
actually place you through Celtech as well. So
Okay, okay, no
we
worries.
will
That's
do
good.
as
And
we
yeah,
want. For us, the best testimonials and references would come from you. So we would want to take care of you. I think that's what.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's mouth to word publicity. If I'm happy with your services, yeah, definitely I'm going to tell 10
So
other people,
I think we are
Absolutely.
actually banking on that. So definitely,
No, no, don't worry. Yeah.
it won't
In
end.
that
Our
matters,
relationship will
yeah.
not just end right after the training. It will continue. So
No, no. No, no, I understand. So in that in that particular way, you don't have to worry about it. Definitely. If I'm happy with you guys, yeah, definitely I'm gonna pass on this to 10 other people. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I assure you in that
okay,
sense. Okay.
like I said, one
And
of us will definitely be in touch with you, and
yes. Okay.
we
Okay.
will
Okay.
definitely.
Sam.
I think most probably we will start a batch on the Friday. The
Okay. 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 And last question. Sorry to bother you guys again. Okay. Now suppose once this course is completed, whatever the training is completed, you will like, do I need to apply as an experienced SAP guy, or can I apply as a fresher? Because I don't think so. I'll get a job as a fresher in SAP in US at least. So I need to show some experience, right? I'll have to show some experience.
I don't know. That's the part I want actually Narayan and Shankar to comment on. This kind of, let's say,
Mhm.
if you
Yeah.
study 50
Yeah.
hours.
I mean, so you have already, you are a functional expert. So what I would
Yeah.
say is, you have to apply like an experienced guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there
definitely.
is
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
what.
mean,
Because as a fresher, yeah, yeah.
you're
Because
all,
at least in
yeah,
US, you won't get it as a fresher. At least in India, there are some, small companies there where we can
yeah,
start as a fresher. But in US, they
yeah.
they want people to be trained, well trained, and to be
Yeah,
doing a job.
and also,
Yeah.
because you're already a functional expert, and
Functional.
you have
Mhm.
a very good functional experience, because functional domain, only thing you're going to map with the functional experience
Systems.
or the functional requirements in SAP in the
Mhm.
SAP system.
Mhm.
So you can have an experience, and then yeah, you may proceed with that.
Yeah, I can proceed with it. But so Sam, would you guys be able to help me out in that case in like making the experience, like, showing some experience or something, or do I have to prepare on my own,
You already have, like
The ex-
Narayan and
Yeah.
Shankar was saying, you already have the required experience. So we will help you kind of fine tune your resume and give you pointers
Mhm.
on what direction it should. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
those are the areas we can actually help you with to kind of get you ready for the market.
Okay. That's
Right.
great. That's
And
great.
and
That's
just
great.
to add,
Something, please,
just to add to
immediate
it,
add.
sorry,
Hmm.
just to add to it, what we can help you, Joginder, is to
Mhm.
make your resume SAP flavored. Okay.
Oh, that's it. That's great. Yeah, that is more
Okay.
important.
You have the experience. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All
I
that you
know.
need to show is more SAP flavored.
SAB, yes, yes,
So that
absolutely.
nobody's
Absolutely.
gonna question
I
you.
know.
And
I know. I know. I know.
on top of it, you already have a certification, right?
Certification. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I
So,
do.
so I think that is a much added advantage.
I
Okay.
know. I know. I know.
so just
Okay.
Just
take
you
up
have
this training, and then
just
you're
you have
ready.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I will. I will. So I'll just wait for someone to get in touch with me, like, so we can proceed with the further, further paperwork or whatever you guys want me to do. We can go ahead then. Okay.
Excellent. Thanks for joining the
Okay,
Okay.
session,
sounds good.
Joginder.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks,
Thanks,
Narayan,
thanks,
and thanks,
Thanks,
Shankar.
Narayan.
Thanks for your time.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
thanks,
See you soon.
thanks.
Joginder.
Bye.
Yeah, yeah. Bye.
Yes,
You're
bye.
welcome.
Yeah, bye.
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 Thanks, Narayan and Shankar. Sam, Murli, you have any I think Jogi has left us.
Yeah, I'm here. Do you want me to leave?